Well, good morning. We're so glad that you've joined us for another book. I thought I would read from home today once again. Today's book is an extra special one. This is one you're going to hear from both Anna and myself, and we probably aren't going to get through the book entirely today because it's such a long book, but it's really wonderful and it's full of, well, ridiculousness. It's called Giraffes. And it's a over-the-top book, but it's filled with unbelievable facts, truly unbelievable facts about giraffes. So let me read you the intro. This is an intro that Anna will be reading as well in case you missed this morning's reading. So, welcome to Dr. and Mr. Doris Haggisonway's world of unbelievable brilliance. Greetings, I am Dr. Doris Haggisonway, the world-famous scientist and explorer you have heard so much about. The man standing next to me is my husband, Benny. He helps me with my work and tells adequate knock-knock jokes. I am glad that you have picked up this book. It shows that you are someone who looks to discover new things and who, like me, dislikes hummus. For the past 40 years, my husband Benny and I have traveled the globe, collecting information and writing down our findings. It is my opinion that our findings are the most important and startling scientific information known to humankind. If you disagree with me, you are wrong. Mr. Haggisonway and I live in a county called Crumpets under Kilt, on the distant Isle of Ayr, in the northernmost reaches of Scotland. It is here that we store all of our equipment and our maps, rare animals, and scientific findings. For 40 years, all our information was kept very secret, until recently, when we decided to share our findings with the world, with common people, with good and smart people, and even people like you. And so was born the Haggisonway series of unbelievable brilliance, by far the most comprehensive and impressive series of reference books yet written by humankind. This book about the storied and mysterious world of giraffes is the first in the series, which will soon enough number in the hundreds and will include books about wolverines, hallways, Neptune, dogs who play poker, cardboard, giant squids, the post office, thrones, lunchboxes, garbage, teeth, and chartreuse. Please observe the following rules when reading this book. Very important. Number 1, wash your filthy hands. Number 2, wash your filthy face. 3, if one is available, put on a red vest. I didn't get that one. 4, do not drink anything orange or yellow within 2 hours of opening this book. Good. Number 5, do not lick your fingers before turning the pages. I don't care if you've just washed them. Now, onward into the world of unbelievable brilliance. Dr. and Mr. Doris Haggisonway. Giraffes at play. Typically, giraffes enjoy games involving chance and the risking of property. While the very young partake in games of marbles and sticks, as adolescents they acquire a need for higher stakes. Giraffes love to dance and consider themselves expert. There are many competitions regionally and internationally, and many spectators attend, though giraffe spectators can be very demanding and unforgiving audience. For giraffes, dancing is a very serious business, devoid of any fun or innuendo. What's a perfect day of fun for a giraffe? First, a nice bath of cold fruit juice. Second, an hour of dancing in front of the mirror to harp music. Third, a mile or so of skipping while thinking about cereal and St. Louis. Lastly, 6 or 7 hours of marbles, especially if the marbles are blue and purple and covered in fruit juice. You can see the different kinds of games they play on the left side, or you can see the complicated, beautiful nature of the dance on the right. I tried to follow the dance steps, and I'm a horrible dancer, so I just couldn't do it. Oh, this is a good page. Giraffe Superstitions. As we all know, giraffes are very superstitious animals. And obviously. Next to wallabies and orcas, they are probably the most superstitious creatures we have. Come to think of it, cheetahs are superstitious too. They're probably the most superstitious of all. Man, we could tell you stories about cheetahs. Giraffes, though, have concentrated most of their superstitions around moons and ladders. They're unsettled by almost every phase of the moon, and they won't go near ladders, whether those ladders are standing or prone. And you can see down here, it gives you the phases of the moon and the corresponding meaning it has for the giraffe community. The 8th moon, it's best not to eat anything crunchy on that night. A quarter moon, it's ill-advised to do any skipping or humming. Playing Uno is out. Reading seafaring adventures is out. Opening cardboard boxes is out, although opening wooden boxes is fine. On the half moon, when the moon is at this stage, giraffes tend to be irritable and irrational. They take long drives, they go off in their boats without proper flotation devices, they chop wood without wearing goggles. And finally, on the full moon, candy. It's all about candy at this point in the moon cycle. They'll eat pounds of it, each of them. Will eat until there's no more to be found. They believe that if their homes are not purged of candy while the moon still hovers overhead, they'll get horrible rashes all over their body with the faces of dead Russian czars. I mean, that's just dark. But you have sworn enemies of all giraffes. The top one right here, it's the Gila monster. And number 2 is the millipede. Oh, definitely a big enemy of the giraffe. The toucan is number 3. Any and all 3-toed animals. The Queen of Norway. Oh, such a big enemy. Number 6, the Lee Iacocca and his nephews. And Matthew Perry from Friends. So, yeah, who knew? Let's see. Oh, okay. This one's the story of Frederick the Giraffe, who shaved his fur and tried to live as a human. Frederick was a strapping giraffe of 15 who thought he knew just about everything, and certainly felt better and certainly better than his parents and their weird friends. One day in class, he learned about the various migrations of giraffes. He learned about the Great Migration of 1888, when the giraffes moved from the Pensacola area, Destin in particular, and traveled to Atlanta, also known as Hotlanta. He heard about the slightly less Great Migration of 1947, when the giraffes left Atlanta, Hotlanta, and traveled to the suburbs of Columbus, Ohio. In each case, he was taught how, when migrating, the giraffes built conveyors to take them from one place to the next. Sometimes these conveyors took decades to build. After hearing these stories, Frederick had the temerity to ask his father why his ancestors had gone through all the trouble of building the conveyors, when they could just as easily walk or drive from one place to the next. "So you know better than the giraffes with your magic of walking in cars," said his father, whose name was Greg and usually wore a cape made of tinfoil. "Then go to your precious humans and live with them. We can no longer accept you." Frederick decided he would do just that. He went to Ann Arbor, Michigan, to live with the humans. First, though, he used Nair, a hair-removing solution, on his entire body. It hurt a great deal, and Frederick yelled many words that cannot be printed. They were not dirty words. They simply cannot be printed here because they are currently vacationing in Miami. "There," said Frederick, with satisfaction, looking at his furless body, which was shiny for some reason. "Now I am the human." From this point, the story grows dull, but can be briefly summarized. Frederick got into real estate, rose fast in the industry, began dating 2 seamstress sisters named Edna and Helen, who were okay with sharing Frederick, who was very good bowler. Eventually, he tried for tax fraud, acquitted, and then briefly noted being a frequent customer at the Hard Rock Cafe in Sioux City. What a weird story. But I guess they accepted him as human for a little while. See some of the pictures there about Frederick and his life. Some of the best looking giraffes. Even for a scientist as gifted and experienced as myself, Dr. Doris Hagazonway, this was a challenge. How do you choose the 7 best looking giraffes when all giraffes have such lovely faces? Well, I have to admit that I got some help. I asked some muskrats that I know if they could come over and look at some pictures. Muskrats, as you know, are very keen judges of physical beauty and judge most of the world's pageants and reality television contests, often in the guise of former TV stars and contest winners. Well, the muskrats and I found that we believe to be the 7 most stunning looking giraffes, and we present them to you here, with their hometown and hobbies listed below. Enjoy. We have the pageant contestant respect and fear that the unforgiving eye of the muskrat. And the criteria by which most, but not all, giraffes were judged: the joie de vivre, the joy of life, an interview, hygiene, the neck, poise, and patches. And Marcus from Hotlanta is one of our top 7 there. And we have Carl from Terre Haute, and we have Dominique from Provo. Beautiful giraffes, truly. I can see why they're in the top 7. We have Juanita from Terre Haute as well, and Giacomo from Terre Haute. Oh man, Indiana has all these beautiful giraffes. And then, of course, coming in, rounding out the top 7 is Cynthia from Hotlanta and Gunther from Terre Haute. I could go on reading this book for just ages. It's such a wonderful book. But I'll wrap up with one last page for you. Giraffes do not believe in the following things. They just don't believe in them. They don't believe in snap buttons. They don't believe in shoes with Velcro. They don't believe in croutons. The fix by the 1919 Chicago White Sox, they don't believe in that. Aromatherapy, they don't believe in teenage angst or brass or copper. They don't believe in fruit roll-ups, childhood romance, starching shirts, neither hemming nor hawing, breakfast bars made with chocolate, fission or fusion, stethoscopes, definitely don't believe in those, the North Pole ice migration, or subleasing. They don't believe in any of these weird things. Just in case you don't believe me about any of this, this is actually endorsed by over 6 scientific clubs in Canada and other places. I mean, clearly, it's a very big scientific work that's done so much in their study, and we're only about halfway through this book. We have so many more pages that we could still be reading, but they'll have to wait for another time. Keep in mind that tomorrow is Tuesday, and so we'll be having our family event. We invite you to make your way to Facebook, where you're going to see a video that Anna and I have recorded where we have tried some of the most ridiculous things, some of which you suggested and some that came from other places. And then Wednesday is Pints and Praise, where your family can tune in to hear Gabe sing. On Friday mornings, you can listen to our Pastor Whitney give a front porch devotional, and then Sundays we still gather for service. And there's so many other opportunities that will be coming up, so just keep an eye out through the family email or through what's happening on Facebook or on those emails that come through e-news. We'd love to see you at any and all of the events so we can continue to be community during this difficult time. Look forward to seeing you later, and don't forget to tune in tonight to hear Anna read a portion of this book as well. Hope you're doing well, and take care. Bye.